Good evening, wrestling enjoyers. Have to do right, 'cause it's time for the abnormals. We do not have a lot of time, so I'm just going to jump straight in. So, of course, just to remind all of you, the Locker L96 Crossbow, Backpack, Fridge, and Fish Bucket Helmet, they are the abnormal skins for this week, and the regular skins are the Senor Tomato Rock, the Hide Clothing here, and the Sap. So, we're going to talk about the abnormals first, then we'll talk about the regular skins afterwards, and by the time I'm done, I'm probably going to have to rush to get those barges prepared for. Let's go. So, first up, the Beauty Industry Locker. So, when I first saw this, I did kind of put out a warning, sitting here and saying, guys, you got to be a little bit cautious about these lockers because we got quite a lot of them, being accepted last year. And of course, the Neon lockers, the Forest Raiders locker. By default, you'd assume, oh yeah, they'll do perfectly fine, right? During post-Christmas, probably the best time to sell your skins. All of these lockers are in the negative. They were not performing very nicely. However, as of now, I am starting to see some improvement. Forest Raiders locker is now actually back into the positive. And the Neon lockers, more specifically these, they're actually starting to improve. These two skins here, nobody really cares about Nucron, I'm sorry to say that, and this is a Christmas themed skin. Give it time, that'll probably have a very fun November and December time later this year. So, just a food for thought, maybe have a good look at it on the Steam market. So, yes, this didn't perform very nicely recently, but that doesn't mean these are going to perform badly throughout the rest of this year. Now, more specifically, talking about these lockers, I have made a video recently talking about like the whole Neon collection, and those lockers look like they're not going down in price anymore. So, in fact, along with a few other Neon skins, it looks like they're actually going to start slowly rising up in price from here and now. So consider giving that video a good watch just to get a good idea of how that potentially is going to work out. But over to here, with the Saturday 48-hour analysis, every single Saturday I'm looking at all the skins, making assumptions in regards to how much all the skins are likely to sell by next Thursday. Looking at that locker, I thought that was going to do between 17 to 20,000 subscribers. As of now, that is on the lower side of things, and it got eclipsed by a rock. But looking at it, making considerations, are we even going to see a collection continuation? That's another thing you should also be a little bit wary about. Well, on the workshop, someone did kind of ask, Mr. Kratorius, are you going to make a full collection? He just kind of smiles. So you might not be fully aware, but this was actually submitted 2 months ago. It was one of those weird skins that was randomly picked out from quite some time back. It was an extra late pick. In those past 2 to 3 months, I will point this out, we saw a large box, a sheet metal door, and a garage door being made. So all he's got to do is just touch this up, make a version 2 on each of these, resubmit them over the course of the next few weeks. Hey, maybe we'll get some more beauty industry skins potentially being accepted. So I can see some nice things potentially going on with it. But after seeing how some of those lockers performed last year, I'm still quite hesitant. So, what price am I going to suggest? I could see this probably dropping off and go down to maybe about $2 at some point. I know a lot of people greatly appreciate the sheet metal door that came out quite some time back. What, about 5 months ago now? No, it was at the beginning of December. Oh, okay then. Yeah, it's $6. People like catgirls, what can I say? So I think what I'm going to do is $1.20 to $1.80, just a little bit below $2. I think that would be a perfectly fine thing to offer. So that is what I'm going to suggest. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Right, moving on to the Redemption L96. It has sold quite reasonably. Now, when I looked at this, I thought, okay. How many L96 skins are actually in the positive? Oh, yeah. 2. Oh, no, that one's gone down as well. Okay, well, there you go. I guess it's based on how much it actually gets used. Like, if you don't use a certain item that much, where's the justification to own skins? And there you go. Right then, so it is part of the Redemption Collection, which, as a whole, is not doing too bad. Just to remind you, it's the end of March at the moment. This is usually like one of the worst times for Rust skins in general. Prices are down. It's not too hard to comprehend. And based on what you see here, well, the whole collection's not doing too bad. Some of it's kind of down a fair bit, but quite a lot of it's actually still holding up very nicely. So, okay, look at the weapons more specifically. Recently we had the Redemption M39, only down by 20%. You got the MP5 there doing all right. You got the Thompson, the LR. Okay. Think. Right, so what am I going to suggest with this? I think the price probably will drop off a fair bit. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think I will probably do $1.20 to $1.70. I don't think it's going to go dramatically down super bad. And I did reference another shiny looking L96 that came out the previous year. At the very beginning of 2024, we saw the Black Gold L96. Pretty cool looking design. Sold quite a little bit too much. That did almost 30,000 subscribers. But because people appreciated it and liked it, it rose all the way back up in price. Now that went down to about $1 at one point. Now it sells for $2 in the Steam market, as you can see. So, okay. Maybe it might take a while to get, all the way back up in price. But that didn't sell as much as that. That's done about half as much. So I'm rolling with $1.20 to $1.70. That's what I'm going to suggest. Okay, cool. Let's now move on and talk about the Deep Ruby Crossbow. So just to bring this up, of course, I'm always keeping an eye on all the new skins that are being submitted, and I have seen some Deep Ruby tools being submitted, so just want to quickly show that off to you. Mr. Wynet is committing to try and getting some more skins accepted, but it has been, what, 2-3 months since we last saw a pair of tools being accepted? I wouldn't be surprised if that potentially gets considered. I wouldn't be surprised if that potentially gets accepted. So there very likely could be some more skins for the Deep Ruby collection. But as of now, it only consists of 2 weapon skins, the AK and the crossbow. Now compare this with all the other crossbows that exist, and you might realise that, it's pretty unique. It's pretty strange, but pretty standout. All right, then. So maybe that might be a little bit favourable, but also take this into consideration. How many of these exist overall? So let's just look at it all based on subscriber counts, and that is not too far off from like the top 6. So, okay. And then you look at this and you see so many of them are in the red. I am thinking that I think we will be seeing some more of this collection, but I can't help to assume it might have a bit of an awkward time initially. However, another thing I should point out with crossbows is how low do they actually go, because these don't actually perform super badly. If you look at them all based on lowest price, the worst performing one is $1.20. Now, if you look at all of these, they don't really stand out very nicely. They're all a bit dull. This isn't dull. So, okay. If they don't go down super bad, and I do expect more of this collection, and it does, it's very unique. I think for that, I'm probably going to do, again, maybe like $1.20 to $1.70. I think that would be okay. I really wouldn't be surprised if you're going to end up picking them up for around $1.70, because it's probably going to end up at around $2 at some point. But if we keep seeing more and more and more and more, okay, maybe things might turn around. But it has sold quite a fair bit. You might see quite a lot of them on the Steam market. So if you're a bit more cautious, you're for a lower price. That usually is how it works out a little bit better. I just want the Thompson from that collection because we barely have nice skins for that gun. We'll see. For a Thompson at the moment, you've got like 10 eligible collection continuations that could be picks of Enki. Keep an eye out tomorrow. Right then, moving on. Ultramarine Backpack. So, okay, that has sold a very respectable and reasonable amount. It's only done 11,000. Now, we literally just had another blue backpack the previous week, and that's actually doing very good in terms of its price. Anyway, that did about 21,000. Then we get another blue pack literally the very next week, and that's only done 11,000. Okay, fair enough. But shall we also point out it's part of the Ultramarine collection? So, yes, that's actually doing super good at the moment. Do you remember a little bit earlier when I said prices are a bit bad at the moment? Yeah, Ultramarine don't care. Ultramarine don't care. But, like, for clothing and armour, the only thing I could really think of now is either some primitive skins or a jacket. Like, there's nothing else that I could imagine to really give anything like a boost. But that backpack, you have sold basically nearly the exact same amount as, like, all the clothing and armour here. You are going to slot in quite nicely. That actually might be doing pretty all right. Chat, honestly, I think that might be a good thing to consider chasing after. But again, how many backpacks have we had in such a short amount of time ever since they became skinnable? Also, by now, don't you think people have already got a backpack they want? Well, I mean, that goes with Ultramarine collection, and Ultramarine clothing and armour is doing pretty good. It's fairly in demand. How often are you using a large backpack? Okay, let's talk. Let's think. I think I might just do $1 to $1.50. I'm still a little bit unsure about that, though. Maybe I'll lower it down to 90 cents to $1.30. Like, I can see it's in demand. I own some of these. I'm happy with the profits I've sold some of them for. So, yeah, I think I'll stick with 90 cents to $1.30. If you want to offer more, you're more than welcome to do so. But if people turn around and say, I don't want it anymore, and dump it on the Steam market, you better be prepared. So, okay, fair enough. I can see pretty interesting things for it, and I think it will do a better job in terms of retaining its price compared to the other backpacks. Moving on, Death Metal Fridge has sold next to nothing. Death Metal Fridge, I'm surprised, but then again, I think everybody recently already bought a fridge they want, considering the prices all went up because everybody was buying them in anticipation to the cooking update. Okay. Now, in terms of what I'm looking at here, it looks cool. It glows in the dark quite nicely. I've seen this all nice and properly in my rust rotation video. But, well, does that mean it's just not very in demand then? Probably. And also, just to point out, the large box came out somewhat recently. It's only down to $2. That's not too bad. And there was a garage door that was submitted quite recently as well. The skin creator, I do believe, will be producing some more skins. But, will they be accepted? Fridges. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of them now. So, it does appear 2 of them have gotten cheaper. Yes, right, I'm looking at that. What's the other one then? It says there's 2 cheaper than this one. You're $2.09. What's another one that's gotten cheap? Maybe that's just out of date. And there you go, 238. Right then, okay. So that was pushing up to $3 at one point. That's gone down, and that came out, kind of did all right, retained its value. Now it's slightly down. How many listings are below $2.49? Let's just quickly find that out. Oh, there you go. Other people. Why would you list 16? Right. This is what this currently looks like as of now. How is that? What is that going to look like during the summertime? Have you been keeping an eye on the commits? Have you been watching with all the nice little updates that are being added and whatnot? And of course, are you still anticipating the jungle update? But yeah, it could have a nice turnaround. After that, it's just 1. It's not, there's not much there. It's just that. And maybe people just aren't super in the mood to buy skins at the moment. As I said, it's March time. Maybe that could still work out nicely, but looking at you've basically sold about 50% less. I don't expect as many listings compared to that one. I think this is actually going to do pretty okay, but I can't help but assume it's still likely going to go down to about $2. So I think for that I'm going to do $1.20 to $1.70. Yeah, I have faith in it to a point, and I do expect more skins. Things could probably work out quite nicely. Be a little bit hesitant though, right? If you're not for more, you're more than welcome to do so, but don't be surprised you end up picking up a whole bunch of them. But if we keep seeing more and more deplorables, you might be in luck. That actually might work out very nicely for you. So cool. Let's move on. Fish bucket helmet. All right, so this has actually turned into a very, very, very interesting thing because number one, I don't really expect many more bucket helmets to be accepted anytime soon. Just to get this point across, before we used to see quite a lot of them being accepted. Then for 5 years we got one, and then for another 3 years we got another one. That's it. That's how it is. So I don't really expect to see like a whiteout bucket helmet or a blackout bucket helmet or a black gold bucket helmet or maybe you'll see an ultramarine one. But the point I'm trying to get across is that is green. And we've already kind of showcased like pairing this up with a standard green bandana, wearing like the other fish clothing and hiding in bushes and whatnot. It's pretty effective. But have you been keeping in check with the workshop? Because what's appeared over the past weekend from Mr. Shedmon, I can show you that we have a bandana. And what pairs up ever so nicely with a bandana? Oh, I guess maybe the bucket helmet. So maybe that would be greatly appreciated, and it potentially could be coming out fairly soon, maybe, possibly. So, okay. This has only sold 7,200, or more specifically, it has 7,200 subscribers. That is the lowest selling skin. Yeah, it's $2. I respect that. I understand that. But if we get that bandana, I think that's going to have a pretty fun time. I don't think we'll be seeing another bucket helmet in a very long time, and I can't help but assume a lot of people would probably appreciate it, not only due to the fact that it's a fish collection skin, but it's also a pretty nice looking little bit of green camouflage. Now, you're going to sit and say, but Hedge, a bucket helmet. All right, fair enough, but, you don't think it's too hard to just find one, give it a quick spray, put on some green, hide in a bush, just pounce on someone with a lot better gear. There you go. Be the devilish fish in the bush. So anyway, I think people will actually like it, and I don't expect many of them to be appearing on the Steam market anytime soon, considering there's only 7,200. I think I'll go on pretty strong in there, and I think I might end up buying some just out of curiosity. So I think I'll do $1 to $1.50. I think I might go a little bit higher. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Will this lead to people wanting to actually use a bucket helmet now? I don't know. Right then, so yeah, I think I'll do $1 to $1.50. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so shall we now talk about the regular skins? Senor Tomato. So I wasn't really expecting you to become the top-selling skin, but I did anticipate you were going to do a similar sales amount compared to the beauty industry locker. So 17 to 20,000 subscribers. Yep. We seem to be smack dab in that. So, all right then, by tomorrow, I'll probably reach up to maybe about 18,500. But also take this into consideration. I am fully well aware that there have been a lot more rocks being submitted to the workshop recently. And I'll show that to you in a second, but there's a lot more animal rocks and there's a lot more cutesy, silly rocks, all right? I'm a bit worried because we're seeing a little bit too much of this at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if this drops off as much as this and this. So looking at the Senor Tomato, I might just do 90 cents to $1.30. I'm fully well aware that there was a collection continuation to this as well. There's a sheep middle door, so that's pretty cool. But the state of rocks as of recent, We just keep seeing more and more and more being accepted. I'm a little bit unsure about that, and yeah, I think I'm going to play it safe. 90 cents to $1.30. If you want to jump onto that, offer more money, you're more than welcome to do so. But I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we'll see another cute rock fairly soon, and then everybody wants that instead of Senor Tomato. Senor Tomato gets run on Steam Market, and prices suffer because of that. So yeah, that's how I'll be approaching that. Yep. Now moving on to the hide clothing. Well, okay then, I will sit here and say this: it doesn't matter. So as long as we see a collection continuation, it might be burlap clothing, it could be a boonie hat, it could be some hide boots, some leather gloves. That will help this out quite a lot. This has sold more compared to the bandana and the poncho, but not by a ridiculous amount. That did 8,600 subscribers. That did 9,300 subscribers. Both of these have just gone over 10,600 subscribers. So the distance isn't super huge, but I am still a bit wary. Now, you might sit there and say, oh no, there's going to be problems. Well, just want to point this out to you very quickly. In the past, we have had the Cursed Hide shirt and the Pirate Hide shirt. That got a whole collection, so that's currently sitting there at $2.48. That's nice. That got a whole collection. That's currently sitting there at $2.70. That did 26,000 subscribers. That did 14,700 subscribers. I can't help but assume that would be pretty all right, especially with it being at 99 cents. I think that actually might be pretty okay. Now, hopping over and taking a look at the pants, well, I think we're essentially going to see the same thing. So we've got the Pirate Hide pants there at $3 with 26,200 subscribers. We've got the Cursed Hide pants with 15,158 subscribers at $1.75. And you're there, the Hide pants with 10,600 at 99 cents. I think they're going to probably do a decent job of retaining their price. So in terms of the tie hide clothing, I'm still a little bit hesitant. I'm still a little bit wary. The prices might still drop off a fair bit, but if we get those continuations, I think they'll be having a fun time rising up in price. So I do believe I'll probably be offering between 75 to 85 cents. I think we can see some nice things going on with that. And if you're to buy some, I wouldn't say no, but you kind of really need to hope that we get those continuations. Now, I have spoken with the skin creator. I do believe we'll be seeing something soon, but he has kind of taken a break for a while. Yeah, so keep an eye on that. I think we'll be seeing something like some hide boots, potentially. We shall see. But will it be accepted? That's the next question. So moving on from there, we have the Minicopter Sap. It hasn't sold that much, but even then, I think it might actually have a pretty fun future. Now, in the past, I've said Saps tend to be very reliable with their prices, but they don't really go up in price that much. And to my surprise, I've noticed this very recently, these Saps are selling for prices they'd normally sell for in the summer. It's March. Aren't these supposed to be suffering? I'm as surprised as you are. So how are these going to look like when we're actually sitting in the, like in the middle of summertime in a few months' time? Because that's like up by 20, up by 54, up by 31. I mean, that's looking good. Now, just to point this out, you might notice that some of them are down in price, but they're not like dramatically down bad. Down by 5, down by 13. That's fine. But you might notice these here, that only did 5,300, that only did 6,200 subscribers. They don't have like super spectacular, super interesting designs. And I've got to sit here and say the Minicopter is another skin like that. It's a nice grounded, rusty, for what it is, that's a nice looking skin. But it's not super flashy, super in your face, and part of a well-established in-demand collection. So I do believe that very likely could still go down in price, just not dramatically down bad. I think I'll be doing $1 to $1.50. You know what? I might roll that back a bit, 90 cents to $1.30. Yeah, that's not going to be a 60 cents to 80 cent buy order. That'd be a 90 cents and $1.30 buy order. I think it'll probably drop down to its worst point, probably around $1.50. So that's why I went to $1.30. Right then, so overall these skins in this rush store are looking pretty good. Now let's talk about some interesting details that'll be happening over the course of the next few days. Let's now hop over to here and talk about Becca's ever so lovely charity event that'll be taking place. So the UTERUST charity event will be taking place over the course of March 27th to the 30th, aka as of tomorrow. I believe this starts around 8 p.m. London time tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, and I will be taking part. Look in the description, you'll see links to all my socials, and of course you'll see a link to my Twitch. I'll be on here, I'll be taking part, I'll be showcasing a lovely boob-themed racetrack because, of course, all funds are being raised for the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I've been saying this about 10 times today already, and I'm running out of fumes. So far, we have raised $225. In fact, if you look over there in the top left corner, you might have noticed the price increasing throughout this video so far. So look at all these lovely people donating their money. Oh, look, yay, yay, Hedge is going to go bald, yay, 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 because they're all raising money, because if we get to 1,500, I'm going bald, and the eyebrows are going, and I'm going to become a potato, so yeah, we're all trying to help out in our own stupid little ways, aren't we? So, but yeah, that's all for a good cause. Now that'll be happening over the course of the next few days. There are no Twitch drops. I know a lot of people have been asking, but there are no Twitch drops. I'm as surprised as you are. Now, we all get to be able to have our very own special little skin produced by Mr. Micro. Let's go over to here. Mr. Micro has very generously put some time into helping us. We got ourselves a lovely pink halter neck and skirt skin to run around in tomorrow. Thank you very much, good sir. So, yeah, imagine if they accepted that in a Rust store. It shouldn't be available for a Rust store, but hey, we'll never know. Keep an eye out for that. But you should be keeping an eye on all the newer skins that have been submitted. You might notice like Barbarian, Fish Bandana. You might notice that we also happen to have like Minicopter. We've got a brand new collection produced by Milho Frito, that being the shiny looking Spectra set. We have Black Ops, factory new skins. We have Pioka, people. Pioka! All right? So there's a lot of very interesting potential skins that could be accepted with tomorrow's Rust store. Look at all the rocks. Look at all the animal rocks. They're coming. Right, oh, we've got Hamster Garage Door as well. So yes, lovely, cool, interesting things. And if you want to be up to date with all the new skin submissions, always keep an eye out for my Rust Workshop Skin Checks videos. All collection continuations are chaptered. It should be nice and helpful for the likes of all of you lot. And if you'd like to be up to date with new potential actual content in Rust, consider keeping an eye out for Mr. Protox's Twitter. Let's quickly show this off right now, because he actually has video footage of the brand new horse costumes. They are essentially the chicken costume, but horses instead. As you can see, we've got like a unicorn there, and we have two standard horse versions here. You've got the yellowish, more, I don't know, motivated looking horse, and then you got the goofy looking horse with his teeth sticking out. So thank you very much there from Mr. Protox. If you give his Twitter a good look every now and then, you'll notice some interesting things being mentioned. What in the world is a Squeaky Boy 3000? That probably sounds like some sort of Nerf gun that'll probably be for the Beach DLC or something. Oh, by the way, there's a sunken knife. If you own the Abyss collection, that appears to be a special combat knife that'll be given away and added into the Abyss collection, the Abyss DLC pack. So yeah, I learned about that because Protox figured it out. Cool. So yep, give that a good look, and lots of things to consider watching. But for now, we should probably skip ahead and get those barders down. So let's go do that right now. And here we are, the last abnormals that'll be at midnight for the next 6 months. Let's go. Come on, bucket helmet. There we go. Oh, no barders. I'll take my little spot here. Thank you. And then what do we have over here? Dev Metal Fridge. No. Hello. Ultramarine Backpack. Interesting you are. Got the crossbow. Crossbow I feel reasonably confident in. Hello, Redemption 096. You're going to be a fun one. Alright, then we're just missing the fridge. Someone's already done about $1.40 there at 70 buy orders. Right, that was all the barders. That was very quick, wasn't it? Well, let's just skip ahead anyway. Alright, we're back. It's been about like 45 minutes. Let's go ahead and get a good look at all these skins. And well, that fish bucket helmet, it's a $2 skin. And it's got barders going all the way up to about $1.70. Looking pretty good. Holding up quite nicely. Okay. I mean, out of like pure curiosity, I might just go buy some. I might buy a few. Maybe like 20 or 30. I think it's looking like it's going to hold up quite nicely. It's a bit of a risk, but you know, fish collection does get appreciated. Last year's fish kill, it did take a while for it to go up in price, and now it's double the price. And from here and now, it's only going up and up and up and up and up. That right there, I don't expect any bucket helmet competition anytime soon. I think that might be working out pretty good. So I think you probably could suggest potentially jumping in and buying a few for yourself. I believe I will. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. Moving on, I'll talk about the Death Metal Fridge. So that has not sold that much. It's got barders pretty high. It's a $2.50 skin. It's got barders going all the way up to $1.90. If we do see more continuations, it definitely is going to help it out. But is that actually going to keep on happening? I think it's going to do a pretty good job of retaining its price, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does drop off and go down to maybe, at worst, maybe around $2. Again, a sheer lack of sales will most likely lead to a sheer lack of listings. Maybe at best, it probably only goes up to about 20 listings at some point. I don't know, but yeah, I am still under the assumption it'll drop off a fair bit, so I'm fine with my buy order. Now, over to here, Beauty Industry Locker. With this one, I thought on it a bit more. All right, and you might notice this as Barter's going up to $2. I am the $2 Barter. I am right there. So I made the consideration and I offered a little bit more because I really do expect more skins to be appearing on the workshop again. More specifically, resubmissions. I think we're going to see the large box, Sheep's Door, and Garage Door appearing again. And if Face Punch was very happy to pick this out after it being on the workshop for 2 months, maybe they'd be very happy to accept some more of them in the upcoming months, in the coming weeks of Rust Doors. We shall see. So keep an eye on workshop and we'll see what happens next. Now, in terms of, do I want to jump in and buy some for myself? If you like the skin and you want it, go ahead, buy it. Not every single thing has to be an investment. But if you are looking at a skin right now as an investment, I mean, you could also do a $2 buy order. If you think that's enough for you, I mean, you could probably still go ahead and just go buy some. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. It's got good potential behind it, so maybe I'll buy a few for myself as well. It's just the issue of the lockers from the previous year. It really did make me question, do people even feel the need to have lockers? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, maybe you're just better off with a $2 bar to try and get them for 50 cents cheaper. We'll see what happens next. So, moving on. Here we have the Ultramarine Backpack. That is a $2.49 skin. Can we just quickly remind myself, is it $2 or is it $2.49? No, that is $2. That's actually doing very good for itself right about now. All right. So, you have barters going all the way up to $1.70. Its collection is doing very, very nicely. And even if this did another 500 subscribers tomorrow, it's still perfectly in line with the Tier 2, Tier 3, and the hoodie and pants. So honestly, I think that will be performing quite nicely, and I think these bars are going to help it out. This actually looks like a skin you probably could go ahead and buy. How high is it going to go? That is the next question. Is it going to perform as nicely compared to all the clothing and armor pieces here? Or is it just going to still do quite nicely, but not as good? You know? Maybe it'll end up like the gloves, slightly in the positive, but not really a huge profit. Well, if you wait and the collection does get appreciated as time goes on, yeah, sure, you might make some sweet, delicious profit, but are you going to want to wait? You could probably just do a $1.80 barter, pick these up for 20 cents cheaper, see what happens next. You could probably still stick with like $1.60 here, because of course there's only a 20 and a 10 and 11 there. It is a bit debatable, but I think they actually look like, it really does look like it's going to do fairly all right. It might just slightly be in the positive, though. So don't assume huge profits. That's the answer. Looking at the Deep Ruby Crossbow, you were selling for $2.49 in Rust Store. Let's just confirm that. Yes, you are. Your barter's only gone up to $1.50. Is this going to drop off? I would expect so, yes. You could just probably go ahead and do a $1.80 barter right now, and you'd save yourself about 70 cents each picking these up. I wouldn't be surprised if you do. But if we do see more consistent Deep Ruby skins being accepted, I think things are going to work out quite nicely for this. And I don't really expect it to drop off dramatically down bad. So with the boulders we do see, I think this might be sticking at around maybe $2 at some point. But maybe it doesn't work out super bad. It has sold quite a lot though, 15,000 subscribers. So, alright, we'll leave it at that. Redemption L96. Well, it's not as strong compared to the Deep Ruby, and Deep Ruby is only a little bit, but that actually still goes higher. Price Hedge. I got that mixed up. So, okay. I think this is going to be the same thing as the Deep Ruby Crossbow. But that might still slightly do a little bit better. But yeah, if you're going to sit there and say, oh, I'm not sure, I honestly think you just put down a $1.80 barter or maybe a $1.90, pick these up for about 60, 70 cents cheaper. I wouldn't be surprised if you pull that off, and I wouldn't be surprised it works out. Now, is this actually going to do a very good job of potentially retaining its price and holding up quite nicely in the future? Again, this also sold a respectable amount, but I don't really expect tons of listings on the Steam market. I wouldn't be surprised if this does end up being one of the redemption weapon skins that actually is slightly in the positive and just comfortably sits there for the foreseeable future. Okay. But I still think you could pick these up for a cheaper price. Barter might be the way to go. So out of all these skins this week, Fish Bucket, and maybe the backpack. You could also consider the locker as well. That would definitely feel like skins that have like a decent bit of support behind them, and we would never have found that out unless we actually did the abnormal barders. So yes, if you wanted to buy something, those 3 skins appear to be the ones to look at. So alright, cool, that is it then. Right then, so let's just go for a quick routine of what to expect potentially for tomorrow. So when we get, typical picks for tomorrow's Rust Store, just to remind you, all the skins in this Rust Store right here was either extra late picks or early picks, alright? So typical picks would be skins you'd normally see in TGG's top picks list. So Tire tier 2, a cool looking cryo fridge, give that a good look, an interesting bit of transparency to see inside it and whatnot. That's a very cool looking skin produced by Fuff. Ramen shop sheet metal double door, just saying. I think people want to see the return of the neon kitties. Yes, a very nice colourful looking design, and we haven't had a sheet metal double door in quite a while, have we? Compared to last year, it's been a bit of a drought. We also have the tuxedo burlap shirt and pants. I know a lot of people would greatly appreciate something like that. A lot of you are probably instantly thinking, white camouflage, shh, don't say that, shh. Luchador primitive set. Fish bucket was already accepted. I meant to say Shogun tier 2. Give that a good look. So yeah, lots of interesting designs. Oh, B large backpack. Will you be mine tomorrow? We shall see. I think a lot of people would actually like that. I think they would. Another backpack though. Fallen. Will we actually see a kawaii skin being accepted? Just to confirm, the skin creator, he has made 4 skins now, and that'll be it. If we see a skin actually being accepted, he will follow through and add more, but he just wants to see if Face Punch actually wants a storage collection or not. So if that doesn't happen, we're not getting a collection, all right? So we'll see what happens. Best of luck to Mr. Vase. He's not the only one, though, because Mr. Flate and all the rest of his friends, they actually have 2 different versions. They have shipping container, and they also have like a toy one, so they're also trying as well. It's just Face Punch hasn't had a storage collection for about 2 or 3 years now. So, Beehive Furnace, Corn Furnace, loads of strange, very weird looking designs. Which ones will be accepted? We shall see. So yeah, Senor Tomato, you accepted, but why not the Monkey Rock? Why not Popstar Thompson? Or Black Ops Thompson? Or some other Thompson, because there's so many collection continuations and lining up for it. Elysium MP5, that's also another good shout. So yeah, loads of cool potential looking things. Now, if we look at the most recent skins that are submitted just this past weekend, Ultramarine Locker. Yeah, we're going back to deplorables. We also have a meat fridge. We've got an Ice-Eye and Pie sleeping bag. Fallen Furnace. Oil rig loot room box. That's a cute little design made by the guy that made the base building small boxes, if you can remember from last year. Like the wooden small box, the stone wall small box. You will remember if you look for it. Yeah, there you go. There is the last kawaii large box, potentially the last toy box. Yeah. Mystic Tree has returned with Senor Tomato Sheepnador. Yep. That is a collection continuation to the garage door we had in the very first Rust Store of this year. And Senor Tomato Sheepnador. He doesn't glow in the dark. Just want to confirm that. Yep. So plenty of fun, weird, strange looking designs. Yep. So we'll see what happens next then. We shall see. Right then, so that's all good. And, well, keep an eye on the commits. More things being mentioned. I'm not expecting a big update for April, but maybe, just maybe, Easter time. And yep, there's the inflatable horse. I'm pretty sure we've already showcased the video. And if you want to stay up to date with all the newer skins, always keep an eye out for my Rust Workshop skin checks videos. All the collection continuations are chaptered. And, of course, I need to just kind of go back here again. So, the charity event, it is tomorrow. You're more than welcome to just come and watch. That's plenty enough. But yeah, the more the merrier, and every little helps. Now, it's not just donations to Tiltify. There is actually a storefront as well. You can buy some very nice little designs for like a coffee cup and whatnot. Again, remember, this is all for a good cause. So, whilst the prices might be a fair bit, again, you're helping out. You get the idea. And again, you can just do a direct donation. And I think someone's just done that. Who just put down 50? I hope it's not 10 more people specifically for me. You wouldn't have done that, right, chat? It appears... Oh, my silico. $50 just to say that. I can't help but sit here and say thank you. But also, I hate you.